Somebody once said, Rome wasn't built in a day, but they never met me. I built colossal cities within a week, raised mountains with the flick of a wrist, and now I'm gonna put my speed to the ultimate test. I'm gonna make a Minecraft mega build in only 24 hours. That's right, no eating, no blinking, no bathroom breaks.
Wait, what?
Starting in 3,
bathroom breaks?
2,
That can't be
1. The rules are simple. The timer doesn't stop until the 24 hours are up. I can take breaks, but if I do, the clock's still gonna tick down. No shortcuts. I can't go back to old builds and just slap them on. That's cheating. I have to build for the entire 24 hours. There's no stopping early just because I think the build is complete. At hour 1, I was feeling pretty good. I had built 12 hours every single day for a year, so I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. But I was about to realize that those extra 12 hours were gonna make this the hardest, most exhausting build session of my entire life. I don't want to do this challenge again, but if you want more, I'll cut you a deal. 100k likes and I'll do another round. So if you want to see more or torture me, leave a like below. But maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Yeah, I was cocky, but I didn't just jump in blind. This was gonna be a building marathon that was gonna push me to my very limits. And even I know that you don't run a marathon if you've never even gone on a jog. I mean, apparently. Some friends told me. I don't run. A week before I even started that timer, I went through an insane training routine. I had to get into peak building shape, forge my mind and body into the ultimate Minecraft machine. The concept was simple: build a structure as fast as possible. I broke it up into 4 sections: 1-minute attempts, then 5 minutes, then 15, and then a full hour. The 1-minute attempts, well, they went just about as well as you'd expect. When I built for 5 minutes, it looked better than a village house, but not by much. I found it takes me a minimum of 15 minutes to actually make a semi-decent structure. But those were just warm-ups. The real training was when I limited myself to 1 hour. After all the lightning rounds, I was excited to get a full hour to build. I finally had some breathing room. This is where I went from prepared to over-prepared. This first one I did all by myself, but I wanted to make sure that I was ready for anything. So I decided to do the rational thing and do this challenge 10 more times. But repetition alone wasn't gonna be enough. So each time I redid the 1 hour challenge, I did so with different builders at different times in different circumstances. Here's what I learned. Don't think, just build. There isn't enough time to waste by overthinking.
The stress is getting to me, Shovel. I'm thinking.
Stop it.
Stay focused, because you're gonna have to deal with distractions.
Open your eyes that God gave you and look at the just kidding, mock with
the windows. I'm mocking.
Find your happy place, Shovel.
I don't care. Put them right here.
Plan like your life depends on it. The best 1 hour attempts I had were when my partner and I strategized before the timer had even started. Learning that, I drafted up a master plan for the 24-hour session. Ever since I saw 1.20's new blocks, I've been wanting to make a giant cherry blossom sky temple. It'll be a lot of work, but it's gonna be totally worth it. Why do I do this to myself? I had everything I needed: a master plan, a full pack of Zoom Zoom poison juice, and a dream. Start the timer. I normally start off a build with terraforming, but I really have to budget my energy here. Structures are the most effort-intensive part of a build, so I'm attacking them at the very beginning while I'm still fresh. This first structure is the most important, so I'm gonna spend at least an hour or 2 on it. Hopefully I can get it all done in time. Yeah, so that was not an hour, that was about 3.5. Yep, 20 hours and 30 seconds, and I've got 1 structure done. Not great. It was slower than expected, but this is all part of the plan. You see, the fastest way to get a lot of structures isn't to build them all from scratch. Instead, I can make one really big, really detailed structure, then I can take pieces of it to twist into new ones. I can probably pull like 10 more houses out of this one structure. Here, I'll prove it. Alright, I am super glad that I spent that much time on the first one. This second structure only took an hour, and I'm super happy with it. But I want a lot more of these once hour 8 rolls around, so I'm gonna get back to it.
Yo.
Oh my god.
Mind if we hang out for a bit?
Oh, do you want to help?
Yeah, we just kind of want to sit and heckle while you slowly go insane.
Oh.
It's kind of like lo-fi for us. It's really relaxing.
Oh, alright, I guess. Weird. Oh, hey, this looks like a cute little house on its own. I'm keeping it. By the way, if you want any of these houses or the finished build, they're all downloadable on Patreon. Links in the description. Like in all of my videos, this build's gonna be a part of my mega adventure map. I had a grand vision. This is the Zygreal Temple, home to an order of sky monks that can fly on gliders and manipulate.
Yeah, dog, these are just airbenders.
Dang it.
Don't worry, I got a better idea. Would you guys follow my religion?
Absolutely not.
What would it even be
we're not
called?
doing this.
Snarpalism?
Dude, this is a super serious Minecraft map. I'm not gonna just install you as one of the gods.
You literally made an entire dimension centered around a dirt hut.
Fine. Show me what you got.
Alright, here's what I have. A legend told of the golden Snarple, a mystical
golden god of gradients. One day, an evil sorcerer named Achilles cast a spell that brought despair down upon the temple. So the monks embarked on a perilous journey into the deepest and wettest cave to find the golden Snarple.
Did you use AI to write this for you? Sounds a lot like ChatGPT, man.
Shh, this is the best part.
After weeks of searching, they discovered the radiant creature, the golden Snarple. Awakened, he used its power to restore life to the temple and banished Achilles back to the Goober dimension. The monks celebrated their victory, and the golden Snorple's legacy of hope persisted, reminding him that even in the darkest times, magic and Snorple could triumph.
And that's what the whole religion is based off.
Well, that was something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do interiors for this one.
I mean, this is gonna be canon forever.
I'll get into that in a future video, but we're gonna keep focusing on what happens within the 24-hour period for this video. Speaking of which, hour 8 was approaching and I was still going strong. I'd been building non-stop the entire time and wasn't feeling tired at all. Everything was going great until I looked at the master plan. Uh-oh, where did the time go? I should have 5 more of these done by now. I needed to move on to the terraforming, but I was nowhere near being finished with the buildings. Time was just slipping away.
Well, look at you. At the end of the line, are we shovel? Set sail towards a saddle of man in the distance.
Sounds good.
Oh, and for these,
Yeah?
take the wheel.
You know this thing can actually move, right?
Man, I know. Oh, these are nice.
Oh, hey JP.
But where's the rest?
Well, right now it's kind of like a work in progress.
That's what I thought. Don't worry. Big, strong JP is here to help.
JP and I play on a shared server called The Bakery. People stopping by is a pretty normal occurrence, and a welcome one. If you want to join our plot server, SMP, or Discord server, the links are in the description. I even play survival on there when I take a break from videos. Also, JP's been a huge help during and after the challenge on this area, so make sure you go check out his channel after this video. With JP's help, I could feel the momentum of the challenge starting to shift. Things were starting to pick up. It was Friday night. People were getting off of school and work, and the call kept growing as we all kicked off the weekend. Within an hour, the amount of houses had doubled. With the houses done, I was finally free to start on the terraforming. I knew it'd probably take a few hours, so I called up my trusty sidekick, Juno.
Sidekick?
I'm wanting for these structures to live on a network of floating islands. It'll make it a lot easier to fill up a smaller space, and this is a build that I've been planning on making ever since I saw 1.20's new blocks. After a couple solid hours terraforming, we had it textured and shaped to perfection. We were ready to start putting in the buildings. But there was a problem. Yeah, man, this is too small.
You call me out here.
Okay,
Get
hey.
me to do all this terrain with you.
Just give me a sec, okay?
And it's too small, Juno. We gotta make it bigger, Juno. You think I got all day?
Thankfully, all it took was a couple commands to scale up the islands. There were a couple glitches, but after mere minutes of cleanup, we were ready to start pasting in the builds. I wish I could say that this was an easy part of the process, but it's one of the hardest. Sure, I press a button and a building appears, but there's a bit more to it than that. It's about where the building appears. Remember back in school when you took group photos? If you were really tall, you'd be in the back, and if you were shorter, you'd be in the front. That way, when the picture's taken, everyone can be seen by the camera. That's basically what I'm doing here with these structures, making sure that no one build is blocking the view of the rest of them. But it's more than just arranging builds. Every time I put one in, I have to go around and adapt pre-existing structures to fit with the rest of them. That's the drawback to building these before the terrain. This process took me another good 4 hours to finish, but I could finally feel the build starting to come together. As those hours went on, the call started to get smaller and smaller. By the time 2 AM rolled around, I was the only one left on the server. Well, these bridges aren't going to build themselves. I'm going to have to connect all these islands so it's playable, so we're going to have a network of hanging bridges throughout the temple. I'm putting this build up for download on my Patreon, so I got to make sure that it's actually functional for the patrons. But I was starting to get a little loopy at this point. My head was starting to hurt, the sun had set, and everything was quiet. If I had to choose a low point of this build, this was it. I was ready to turn off the game. But I had one more trump card up my sleeve. A week before this challenge, I stopped drinking caffeine entirely. Now that I had the tolerance of a newborn, it was time to cash in. Yeah, that'll do. That wasn't an ad, by the way. Red Bull doesn't sponsor me. Yet. My brain was in overdrive. I was powering through the cleanup and it felt like I could build for days. But then the caffeine crash happened, and that's when things started to get weird.
Come on, just pack it all up and head to bed. It's the healthy thing to do.
Hey man, don't listen to that guy. You've got to do this. For the audience.
Oh no, not you again. The doctor says he can't do this no more.
Screw what the doctor says.
Oh, so we're just ignoring basic health advice now from a professional. You know, you are...
Find your happy place, find your happy place.
Told ya you'd lose it.
My friends Snarple and Chili joined the call later that night, and they were able to keep me from spiraling into some fatigue-induced insanity. I was still slow, but I was moving forward. At hour 19, I had a tough decision to make. There was still a lot of details to add and cleanup to do, not to mention a giant god tree. All of them needed to be done, but I had to get the god tree done first. It was the most important. So I made a slight adjustment to my second rule and used some of the cherry blossom trees that Juno had offered earlier. I spent the next hour getting those into the build. At hour 20, my brain was quickly starting to melt into a sludgy pool of gray matter. Regardless, I started on the tree. I don't normally have trouble with trees. After all, before YouTube, I was an arborist. Trees were my job, and building them with blocks always felt really natural. But I was so tired at this point that the dots just weren't connecting. 21 precious minutes in, I scrapped the entire thing and started all over. It took a good 2 hours of trial and error to get the branches looking right, but in the end, I got a passable shape. I spent the next hour smoothing out some of the branches and making them all flow together. Normally, I'd spend a few more hours on this, but I was running out of time. This was gonna have to work. Then just a quick texture job, plop in some leaves that I may or may not have taken from a couple of Juno's trees, and it was an acceptable looking god tree. And just like that, the last piece of the puzzle fell into place. I had done it. After hours of effort and the sacrifice of my last brain cell, I had emerged victorious. Like Lazarus emerging from the cave, oh crap. I was exhausted, but I had to keep building for the entire 24 hours. JP and Grayson popped in to carry me through the last stretch. The two of them went around to fix any errors that the commands had left, while I put in some final details. The details were essential, but really, I was just running out the clock. But after an hour, the final seconds ticked down, and I stepped back to admire the full build. I gotta say, for a day's work, I'm pretty happy with it. In the next few days I added some clouds in the terrain, which technically doesn't count, but I figured you guys would want to see it. I'm going to be adding a lot more to this area in a future video, so I wanted to get a head start on it. And yes, I promise there are interiors, so if you're wanting to download it on Patreon, it's a complete build. We've got a lot more coming, so make sure you subscribe to stay up to date. Thanks for watching.